Welcome back to Hello Mizoram. In this video, we're going to be talking about the Zawlbuk, which was a unique and crucial element of early Mizo society for hundreds of years. Not only was it an impressive physical structure, but it was a symbol of authority and communal decision-making. The decisions that were made within its walls carried immense weight and were binding for the entire community. The true origin of the Zawlbuk in early Mizo society is actually shrouded in mystery, with traditional writings based on oral tradition dating it back to about 1700 AD. Legend has it that the Mizos, originally a warring tribe, migrated across the Triao River between present-day Mizoram and Burma, potentially fleeing from adversaries. It was during this tumultuous time that the concept of the Zawlbuk likely took root and became an integral part of Mizo culture. However, it's worth noting that not all tribes under the Mizo ethnic umbrella adopted the Zawlbuk tradition. For instance, the Tabzar group of the Paite tribe only established their Zawlbuk well after reaching and settling into the Lushai Hills, which is modern-day Mizoram, while the Taizang people, another Paite subtribe, did not embrace the concept of Zawlbuk at all. Additionally, the Mara culture and the large Mar tribe had their own variations of the Zawlbuk. During this era, Mizo men held greater authority within family and communal dynamics, primarily due to the importance of physical strength for survival. So, the Zawlbuk served as a vital sanctuary and command center for the men within the village community. One of the first clear accounts that we have of the Zawlbuk is connected to one of the earliest Mizo settlements recorded. That town was called Selesi Sangsari, estimated to have been established between 1740 to 1750 AD. Now, Mizo historian Bilal Tangliana writes that Selesi Sangsari was actually a large town consisting of about 7,000 households, and these households were spearheaded by 7 local chiefs, which meant 7 Zawlbuks. At that time, Zawlbuk was actually referred to as Zawlbuk because it was a haven designated for the young men to relax and lie down at leisure. It literally means shed for sleeping in Mizo, and only after a time did it evolve into the word we know today, Zawlbuk. What's remarkable about the Zawlbuk is that it was always built entirely through volunteer efforts. Nobody would be pressed to do it. It was simply done by all the young males in the village. They would start by gathering the best wood, sungrass, and bamboo in the area, chosen carefully because these natural materials would have to be resilient enough to withstand any type of weather conditions. This reconstruction of a typical Mizo society, of early Mizo society, was established here at Falkawn by the Art and Culture Department in the 1990s. Now, I have here with me PAWIMAWH, who is the official caretaker of Zokhua here at Falkawn, along with his wife and 3 children. He has been here since February 2003, taking care of Zokhua and Falkawn for over 20 years. I'm going to hand over the mic to him so that he can tell us all about the historical relevance and architectural features of the Zawlbuk.
Zawlbuk kanan fang don ya fang tanang hey Zawlbuk kai chen ania thingpum khampok phukhi ni mai thingpum hlir hi yanan khama taingan kai lu ta a chuan helai a hianin aron oi thangwo mai hi di show antia intina di show hi da ve kania ba murte mala chuan ba murin bu an neya an loi hut thina ni chuan kan Naupang lai pon ba murte chuan man thina tianga mi kha pai kong kan do ga tang aron kha mana ar mu te kan putti thini yengal kai lu ta hi Zawlbuk aluka alonita le hemiluka hianin hi a ong ta hi sir tina hian Zawlbuk tlangwal ri kho hi tila hian ethamai thina ni hianin ethamai thina ti chuanin kan lut pheita a helai a hian aluka mor thanglama hian thingnoi bom lom ta helai thingnoi bom ai ta ni ta hianin ni tinin Naupang in thingnawai an keu thina thingnawai keu tur hian o ru thelawa thing tang koi rual an ni tangin ni in tina tangin naupang an lo chuaka chuan thingnawai an fawma taipona daya te chuanin an ron keu ta khom ta he thingnawai keu hi he la ya hian ngai Zawlbuk tap sak mayang ta sonin an tua thina ni ti chuan hi bawhbel ani ta hi bawhbel hi kholian deuh hlek bawhbel chu alian maya khote deuh bawhbel chu te le maya chu bawhbel nei lena te po an lo in el thina ni kha in elna chi khat khuan khuai kan lian ve thawhtanni di na kha a hrim tel tla ni he bawhbel hian tin he bawhbel hi bawhbel satliam ani lo tangkai em maya ral laka anin phenna ani ngala ni pho ani ngala ni hi feiten ron khodon sela Zawlbuk su helai hian in dangta ni silai te pon kap don sela he thi chutianga ka tlang mai thelo anga ngaya ani ta a bawhbel lena bang chuan tin khuwa te pon ron run thina he TLAI tanga to le khata helai bawhbel tanga an lo ka let ve thena ta khosungal ral lo lu te po ti chuan bawhbel hi ka bawliamanga he tian han bawliam thau mai hian tian ti khana bawliama ti chuanin kalphenga ti chuan hei lai hi thingnawai naupang in an fawm kha helai hian tu ana hmun ani ta ni hei hi Zawlbuk a mai hi amit tur ani lo ti ni hmanlai a chuan Zawlbuk a mai amit thiang lova a than chu ri rum thua enge sa te polo tla sa te sakein vokte bong te lo sia tin kho chunga ral te lo liana khata mai cher sit kai wat thei tur khan he mai puya hi anung reng ta ni jan khuin ti chuan hi lai hian mai cher hi tai nan hareng ta eng lai me pon fur lai pon a ro thareng ta kha tu ngal that thei tur khan ti chuanin he mai pui hi atangkai em matin helai buan zol hei hi buan zol ani ta ni avel hi ti chuanin kho chunga mi khual tlangwal khual khuwa atanga local te an ron kal hian Zawlbuk a ron kai ve thina ti chuan lo buan tar thina ni lai hian ai buan trek mai thina ni ti chuanin mei pui hian tu eng sau lai thingnawai khaw ta hian tu eng ta mo ti khana buan ta tlangwal mani to ka ke ka ni ti tan kha chon anuam fiu oma ni rin ain an rin ai chak ni te po halo nuam fiu thei alo nia ti khana hian buan thina ti chuanin hela hianin hei pon thua dana ni hi ta hian pon thua khan da tlar put mai hian tlangwal ri khan he ti hian an da tlara tin tu chuan chaklama khian da tlar boka hei hi bazar Zawlbuk bazar ani ta ni hei hi dog san pai ka hi he bazara hianin khual khotanga valu palo jin te po tilai hian an riak thina ni la tin a khotual valu pa arorel kibi big deuh te pon mut thin ta ti chuanin he bazar hi an rian a hmun alo ni ta chuan ami seng songa chu henglai chuat lai a hian riak maya ti hian an pha kuala eng chuanin anom an riak khom thina he mei pui ai pa hianin tlom ngai te anin zirtira poison te anin zirtira malaya an sabei dan te le ramsa an bei dan te le ral bei dan thengin helai a hian mei pui ai pa hianin ni valu pain ti tian vot shinani chu zantin mai hian hela hian tlangwal ho nula rim tur po Zawlbuk aro loi khom ma sasel ta chuan he Zawlbuk atang hianin an chuaka nulan varima te chuanin an ron hole a Zawlbuk a jak turin khatiang khan zantin kha ramria lo ta ramriak lo kha chu Zawlbuk hi an moi shin ani a hei hi khan chuk ani a hei tinga om thia thei khan chuk ani a hi chuan hemi achunga tian thingtuai om chho zar mai hi in chhun in chunania asak phung rim prima hian hei in chunania he tilaya aron phei zar hi e himo he ti phei zar hi chu pui anti le ta a chuan achung chia mau lo that mai khi di chu manita khi a ha te dang ta di ha anti le ta chuan in asak phung rim ma po hi zir thamom ve a hriat tha in kan thia tin asak dana hi Zawlbuk hi chu se zang anga kul turani se zang hi tian a kul thina se zang angin tian a kul ta he hian chu Zawlbuk kalphung sak phung rim alo ni a chuanin manlai kha khong lung run kha din elai Zawlbuk ka riak kha tlangwal kha ral khan thoin hai e ti thing noi telan voma khan athoma sa piang kap luma an silaya tuin thun veka puak helovin an siam saka ti chuan an mang deuh thaka an mang bak tlema zong kha heng lai ni a hian but ru tok khalo oma chu te po chu ti khong lung ru na khan kan se ome khanin Zawlbuk chu hamia chuat ta rim hi chuat pui ta hi chuat pui ta nia tiang vek hian chuat pui ta in yan ta thin ni hi chuat pui ta nia ti chuanin hemi ok a bob pon thua ban na hemian ta phe hi bo tan mang thung ta ti chuanin a bang hi thum bo kai soi ani ta ni thum bo kai soi hen jetung le je khang a omo hei hi jetung dik ta kan ta a je khang chuan heti zong en zia kal phei ta hi chu jetung ania ata dam du tur dik tak along ta kha ni a chuat a bang ta thleng po hian om zia anei ani ti kha kan soi duwa ti chuanin heta tang hianin nen bo chuak le maya hei hi Zawlbuk hi tangwal riana chawnia tin tlangwal kan ti hian walu pa te po lupui nei fatfa pathum nei thlengin Zawlbuk a hian an riak thinani an riak vek thinani a chan chu ral be thut tele satla sakei ngaya te khang le zual ko kal ngaya te kal zung thei tur khan an pun zung thei tur khan wal upa le tlangwal song kha helai han ri khom thina chuan Zawlbuk hi mei chetan a kai ve thiang lo reng a Zawlbuk a kai mei chian om ruk vai chuanin manlai an soi chiat dana chuan tlang sum an ti thin ni yen khop chuan Zawlbuk hi mei chetan kal ve chi lo ala chuan a chung hi di ania di hi hau ta khop mai Zawlbuk di hi zita po hianin mer sing ni vel deuh tho hi kan han chi thina a chi hi hau ta khop ma nang la hau taka rongal nang te di chi nan kan manga chuan khau chim hian kan tron ve kai khau chim ania tron na khit khau chim kan manga chuan vau hui kan hi boka heng khau chim hui chu ta chuan hei hi thil thek kein tun ngai trong chuan nge sui nang al lai ang khain ta heng ten tron ta hei tian mo an tron thap pa chuanin Zawlbuk chan chin tlang pui chu he chung chu ani deuh maya nge vai khan chu kan manlai nun ani a manlai nun hi a hlim om in a lung le thak viawa
In addition to gathering wood, the younger male adolescents were responsible for cleaning and taking care of the Zawlbuk on a daily basis as part of the schedule set by the older boys, the Hotute. The reputation of the village would always be reflected in the condition of the Zawlbuk, so maintaining it was crucial. When they settled into these new territories, young male adolescents would reside near the dwelling of the chief's house, the lalin, which is over there. This proximity allowed the chief to call upon their assistance whenever he needed, and the role of young men generally expanded to safeguarding the well-being and security of not only the chief but the entire community. The Zawlbuk and lalin held such significance that they were often the first two structures that would be built whenever there was a new settlement. All the young men were always ready to help out in emergencies or whenever someone needed assistance. They would assist with various tasks like dealing with wild animals, putting out fires, searching for missing persons, digging graves, aiding the sick, or, as was often the case, defend the village from rival tribes. The young boys played a crucial role as messengers, ensuring that the whole village was informed and could coordinate their response swiftly. Boys lived with their parents until they were old enough to join and stay at the Zawlbuk. Younger boys of about 10 years of age were now thingnawi from rual, which meant they were now responsible for collecting firewood daily with no excuses allowed. The young boys had to report to the hotutte, their leaders, every evening to announce that they had gathered the wood themselves, with their honesty verified by eyewitnesses. Those caught lying faced the consequence of having to collect twice or even thrice the amount of wood on their next task. Now, one batch of kindling wasn't too heavy a load, so this doesn't mean that the child was overburdened with a massive load. Rather, for our Mizo ancestors, the young boys in the Mizo community were given this daily duty of collecting firewood to teach them important life skills like discipline, honesty, and hard work. That being said, certain criteria were allowed that would forever excuse a young boy from gathering kindling again. For example, taking part in the killing of a wild animal during a hunt or in defense was considered a surefire way of elevating him from young boy to respected adolescent, and he would never have to collect firewood again. Now, we've mentioned that the buanzol on the inside of the Zawlbuk was used to encourage friendly wrestling among the residents, but the spacious courtyard in front of the Zawlbuk was also used as a sporting arena for all ages.
TLAI hian in tlangwal an fiam thina ni Zawlbuk tuala hian tlangwal in fiam thina TLAI tang hian wal upa te pon an lo thira tin hei choilung ania hei anh choi siak thina ti hianin chak deuh chuanin he ta om thleng ten choya an chak dan a zirin thenin khup thleng a thenin ke a choi kang tok ta kha anin elna chi khat ve ania tilai lungden na mun ani bok ngal mai lai lal tual le Zawlbuk tual zola hi lungden nan te tlai atlangwan in fiam nan lungten denga tin fei kho thleng te pon an zir thoba tin hemi tual hrim ai chuan in Naupang te pawh an koi ba in an pon to ve tho.
The Zawlbuk served as a special place for boys to learn important skills from their fathers and elders. They spent time here mastering crafts like weaving fabric and making furniture, passing down traditions and strengthening bonds between generations, all to keep their culture alive. At the Zawlbuk, a senior member called the Val Upa was in charge and oversaw the young men while managing the schedules and upkeep. The elders and respected figures in the community, along with the village chief, gathered at the Zawlbuk to discuss important matters. They talked about hunting wildlife and fishing in a sustainable way, showing that our Mizo ancestors lived in harmony with nature, while also doing the best to their abilities to sustain the delicate ecological and environmental impact that they had on nature. The Mizos have a strong sense of community and enjoy working together on challenging tasks. Now, according to historian B. Laltangliana, the role of the young men in the Zawlbuk was crucial because of their dedication to helping others, which reflects the prized Mizo value of tlomgaina. Now, this concept is difficult to translate directly, but it embodies a combination of selflessness, social altruism, and a willingness to assist those in need without expecting anything in return. It showcases the Mizo tradition of coming together to support each other no matter how trivial or challenging the circumstance. The Zawlbuk was also the place where age-old Mizo culture was passed down through oral tradition. Now, Mizo historian Remkunga writes that at that time, parents were often too busy with their own daily routines, whether it be hunting or managing the household, to really spend time and guide their children. So, the Zawlbuk played a pivotal role in being that safe space for young boys to learn from past generations. Listening to stories of Mizo heroes, hunting adventures, and the way their ancestors lived in the past deeply influenced the younger Mizo generation, and it gave them a strong sense of identity, filling them with courage and inspiration from a very early age. The Zawlbuk was a central aspect of early Mizo society for centuries, but changes over time led to its decline. By the 1920s, Christianity was spreading in the region due to the efforts of Welsh and English missionaries. And this led to the introduction of schools, which meant that young Mizo individuals had less time for Zawlbuk activities. Concerned about the impact of dwindling Zawlbuk participation, British Administrator N.E. Parry ordered villages to build Zawlbuk structures to preserve the tradition. However, many of them struggled due to their young men being involved in other activities or serving in the First World War. War veterans now were the new heroes. They became influential figures in Mizo society, shaping the communities that they were in with their new perspectives. In 1935, some groups aimed to sustain the Zawlbuk or find a substitute by forming the Young Lushai Association, which later became the Young Mizo Association in 1948. This emergence of organizations was partly a response to colonial rule, with the YMA persisting in Mizoram today. Governor A.G. McCall convened a public meeting in a town called Takting on January 1, 1938, to discuss the future of the Zawlbuk. While highlighting the benefits of the Zawlbuk in maintaining this social order and unity, concerns were raised about its relevance in the changing society. Respected elders Putelela, Putanga, and Puluna expressed that evolving circumstances and lifestyle shifts rendered the Zawlbuk impractical. This led to the acknowledgement that Mizo society was entering a new era marked by a different education system and the influence of Christianity. Ultimately, influenced by the elders' perspectives, the governor decided against further attempts to rebuild the Zawlbuk. The shift away from the Zawlbuk as a symbol of early Mizo society was not enforced by the British, but rather by the Mizos themselves, which signaled their desire for change. Today, the Zawlbuk remains a proud symbol of the Mizo people's rich cultural heritage. This revered institution holds a deep significance in the Mizo society, representing unity, tradition, and a strong sense of community that has been passed down for generations. It helped shape the moral compass of the younger members of the community. It promoted the inheritance of wisdom and guidance from generation to generation, and it nurtured a spirit of togetherness and camaraderie that still fortifies the Mizo people today. We hope you've enjoyed this glimpse of the cultural significance of the Zawlbuk, one of the many iconic symbols of our enduring Mizo heritage and cultural identity. See you next time on Hello Mizoram.